Hi, I'm Dr. Fred Templeman, and today I want to talk to you about the value of natural supplementation. When people are genuinely pursuing good health as a primary goal, they will engage in the activities and make the choices that are proven to preserve or to restore health. Attention to proper diet will be the most important focus, followed by adequate physical activity, and finally, appropriate supplementation to make sure that the body has enough of what it needs. In the developed nations of the world, exposure to pollution, coupled with patterns of physical inactivity and dietary excess, have led to elevated levels of chronic illness. These chronic illnesses both kill and maim. Along with behavioral change in regard to diet and physical activity, staying or getting healthy, in my opinion, requires supplementation to compensate for the unavoidable nutritional deficiencies in even perceivably adequate diets. However, what to supplement with and how much to use can be a serious conundrum for most of us who face a plethora of choices in the supplement market. In my opinion, the evidence of the supplement's efficacy should be the primary concern when we choose to spend our money. Examining this evidence does require a little work on the part of the consumer, but the time is well spent. Supplements which are efficacious will have considerable evidence in the form of anecdotal reports from people who have used it. Additionally, there should be some practical and valid scientific research to indicate that it may be beneficial. In the case of supplements, this evidence will not be at the level which is required to market and to make claims for pharmaceutical products, but it will still be valid enough for someone to justify what is called a nutritional intervention. Finally, if the supplement is a natural product, then there should be plenty of valid evidence that people in traditional medical paradigms around the world have used it to good effect for lengthy periods of time. After determining efficacy, the next concern should be, what are we looking for from a supplement based on our desire to protect ourselves or to reestablish good health? When we consider the chronic diseases which harm and kill people in developed nations, we find that there is one element present in all of these diseases, virtually without exception, and that element is the presence of chronic, low-level inflammation. So let's talk about inflammation for just a moment. Inflammation is the body's non-specific response to any threat. So, whether you run a splinter into your finger or you face an infectious threat from viruses, bacteria, or other pathogens, or perhaps you simply eat unwisely, the body responds by ramping up its immune system to produce inflammation to repair the damage. Ideally, the inflammation is short-lived, and when the repair is finished, the immune system moves into quiescence. However, in developed nations, largely due to unhealthy dietary habits, the body too often perceives that it is under continuous attack, and the inflammatory response does not become quiescent, but continues to smolder along without ever shutting down. This chronic inflammatory state is, as I've previously mentioned, part of the genesis of all the illnesses which kill us. Chronic inflammation leads to the development of chronic disease, precisely what nature never intended. So, when we eat correctly and exercise appropriately, we still need to supplement our diets with some harmless product that may assist the body in blocking the effects of chronic inflammation. And this is where the mangosteen comes in. It has been used for centuries in traditional medicine for a broad spectrum of effects. Modern scientific examination of its use in traditional medicine reveals that it is a powerful natural anti-inflammatory, affecting not one, but several of the major pro-inflammatory metabolic pathways. In fact, in one animal trial, it was compared to the most potent steroid medicine that we doctors use, and it outperformed the drug in controlling inflammation. Hundreds of preclinical studies now document how mangosteen may affect inflammation in the body. Human trials also exist, but in much smaller numbers. However, the type of evidence required to say that the mangosteen can cure or treat any disease simply does not exist yet. Part of the reason why this evidence does not exist is that the mangosteen does not act like a medicine. A medicine goes into the body designed to interfere in a single enzymatic reaction that will make a difference in disease. The mangosteen, in contradistinction, is supplied to the body to provide the body with the nutritional building blocks that it may use to protect itself and to return to a normal state when your health is perturbed. Since the introduction 13 years ago of the first commercial mangosteen product for daily use, scientific interest into the effects of xanthones, these are the polyphenols present only in the mangosteen, has truly spiked. From only a few scientific papers just a few years ago, the scientists have delved into the mangosteen xanthones with energy and interest. Most of the scientific research is preclinical and cannot therefore justify promoting the mangosteen as a treatment or cure for any disease state. But that certainly does not mean that it is without value. This considerable evidence, in my opinion, certainly justifies a nutritional trial of mangosteen when chronic inflammation is present and needs to be controlled. It is a reasonable nutritional intervention that people seeking to prevent or remediate disease should consider. Now, it would perhaps be ideal if safe pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories, which could be used every day, existed, but none do. They all have harmful side effects, which should preclude their continued use to control chronic inflammation safely. Now, this is not true of the mangosteen, which is not dangerous. Individuals needing protection from chronic inflammation, which means virtually everyone in developed nations, needs to examine the mangosteen for any possible benefits. Failure to look and to examine this plant, which has such a positive reputation in the traditional medical paradigms of the world, could, in my opinion, be considered unwise. Now, I'm Dr. Fred Templeman again, and thank you for your time.